Rightio, we are ready to go. We're leaving our campsite. Bikes are all loaded. Nothing left behind. See you later, grey-head nomads. Thanks for the beers. Not. Not a bad camp last night. The temperature didn't get as cold as the night before. Or was it that I had my thermals on and was a little bit toastier in the old sleeping bag. But yeah, so it was a good night, good campfire, good feed, good chat. And up this morning and packed up. What's the time? It's about 8 o'clock, so not a real early start. And we've got 49 kilometres to Wilmington, and we kind of cut across towards Port Augusta, just heading in a general easterly direction. Well, I just wanted to show you what I do for these longer road legs. I carry a throttle lock, a little Omni Cruise, which is just there, and yeah, they work really well. I mean, they're a bit fiddly, but if you can get used to them, it just gives you a bit of time to take the hand off and you know, stretch it, relax a bit whilst giving a bit of speed. You can see now it's sitting on 104, 102, and you know, eventually it'll start to slow down, but you just give it another little twist and it'll pick back up, and away you go. So yeah, the Omni Cruise throttle lock, it's good for these long stretches, these long straight roads where we've turned off the main highway to Port Augusta, and we're coming on this dirt trail to a lookout, Hancock's lookout, I believe, and just come over the top of that crest, and in the distance I can see the Gulf. You can see the water down there. Whoop. So this must be the lookout. A couple of campers up here. Looks spectacular. We just came from, I guess, Orroroo. Adelaide's directly behind us. We've got to get over to Port Augusta, so that's up there on the tip of the Gulf, the Spencer Gulf. And yeah, she's cold and windy up here, bit of cloud cover, so it's pretty cool. Now this area does look like it's fenced in. There's just seems to be a gate over there on the map. Where are we? Yeah, so we've come up to this point here. It does continue on the track, and we want to go down there and then all the way across. So that's down that way and then across to the highway. So we'll just have to see if we can get through that gate and then continue on. If not, we will probably have to go back the same way we came and then just back on the highway to Port Augusta. The boys are getting some photos. Nerb's doing some social media. Tom's getting a good angle of the WR beast. So we checked out the gate and it had a padlock on it. There was no way of us getting through that. And so it's a return trip, 7k back to the highway. Well, we're coming down Horrocks Pass towards Port Augusta, and we found ourselves in some twisties. Probably the last bit of twisties for 3,000 kilometres. Stuck behind a grey-head nomad at the moment, which is a shame. Looks like he's got himself a nice setup. The big Prado up front pulling a river caravan. Careful like that. Prado pulling a big van. Oh, look at this. This guy's moving over. What a good man. Thank you. Give him a wave. Alright, quick update. Here we are in Port Augusta. We've come to a little bike store and we managed to get some hydraulic mineral oil. And what we're going to do now is get the the .4 brake fluid out of there as quick as possible to get the mineral in, because it's going to kill the clutch. So yeah, so here we are. Nerv's getting his toolkit out. Tom's over the back there having a look at his bike and
adjust his chain.
Adjust his chain, because he doesn't use chain loop. Anyway, yeah, so we've cleaned inside the master cylinder, and there was a lot of black junk in there. I should have showed you beforehand.
Yeah, actually I can show you on here.
Yeah, just have a look at the rags. So we're hoping that's not O-rings or some kind of seals dissolving from the brake fluid. And we've got the line out here, and trying to get as much of the brake fluid out as possible. And now we're going to put some mineral oil, some jack oil into there and try and flush it all out, and then we'll put the mineral oil that we got from the bike shop. We are having a win, aren't we, Nerv? Yep, so we've come over, we've flushed out the cylinder as I said we're going to do, and the clutch now has got good resistance. It's nice and firm.
We've used nearly half of this bottle.
Yeah, we put what, 4 syringes through? Yeah, 4 or 5. So I'm glad I brought this with me, a little tube, and you can see it on there now. So alright, so I'll pull it apart, make sure everything's nipped up and tight, and put it all back together. Feels good. Good resistance. Confined neutral, okay. It's not grubbing. Well, we just refueled the bikes. We refueled the water, and we're ready to head to Mount Ive, which is our next fuel stop in a pretty remote part of South Australia. So we're coming into Iron Knob. Well, that's Iron Knob over there, and I would say all that mountain or hill there you can see is all man-made. There must be a huge hole somewhere over there where they're just mining, because Iron Knob's a mining town. Yeah, I'd like to get up over that and have a look and see how deep and how big that hole is. Have to be another time, as I'll do that via Google Maps. Now we are going to head to Mount Ive. Well, we're about 10k out of Mount Ive, and the track conditions have been really good. You know, it's a hard packed clay surface, you know, with a dusty bit of gravel and rock on top. The corrugations are real light. There's not much at all. The boulders or the rocks aren't too big, so you can navigate around them pretty easily. Yeah, so it's been good. I would probably have a guess and say that this track's probably been graded in the last, 4 or 5 seasons, and it hasn't had a lot of traffic on here or weather damage, and it's in good condition still. So I'll go as far as saying you could easily get a 2-wheel drive car all the way up here to Mount Ive. Yeah, so we're all going well. We've just been sitting on about 90k, sometimes 100. Every now and then I'd stand up and sit down, but most of the way you're just sitting on your bum and just enjoying the ride, enjoying the scenery. So, and what you see in front of me is pretty much what it's been for the last 150k or so. Nerv's behind, Tom's up in front. Looks like we're at the turn off to Mount Ive, and I've seen this online. How cool is it? PMB 16, Mount Ive. Well, the things you find in the outback. Here we are about to turn into Mount Ive and get some fuel and a resupply, and you come across this. A working submarine in the outback. Nah, just kidding. Anyway, someone's made it up and it's pretty cool. Must have a heavy rear end as it's sinking in this red dirt. Got on a machine gun before and shot down a few Japanese Zeros. Yeah. We'll get some fuel, as I said. Have a quick look around. It's amazing how this is out here in the middle of nowhere. So remote. And here it is, Mount Ive Station. So this is Mount Ive. the general store. The old Spinifex bar's closed. And look over here, kids, and anyone else in Australia. Got some kangaroos. Here's up the feed. Look at him. Are you hungry? Nice and soft, Montana. Very soft. Look how cute this one little one is. Short little arms like a little T-Rex. Aren't you? Eh? Come on. Come on. A little bit of travel. Yeah. Hey Nerd, this one's not leaking. What do we got here? We have an emu. Run. Oh no, it's got me in the mud. So there we go. We saw some kangaroos back at Mount Ive. Then we just saw an emu. So that's the Australian coat of arms done. Here's a little bit of trivia for you. Does anyone know why the emu and the kangaroo are on the Australian coat of arms? Well, I'm going to tell you. It's because they are the two animals that do not walk backwards. They only go forwards. They only go forwards and advance. Hence Australia is only advancing. There you go. Gotta watch that rear tyre. A big tractionator throws rocks the size of bloody golf balls up. Oh, Jesus. That was some serious ruts there. Oh yeah. Oh. Rightio, that's enough showering of rocks. Alright, we're going to check out Woolshed Dam. See how much water's in here. Oh yeah. Woolshed Dam's got no water. Well, we're in the Gawler Ranges and we've been hit by a bit of a downpour. We're all wet. None of us have wet weather gear or any liners in, so we're getting wet, and we're hoping that it's just a passing shower, which I think it is, surely. Hasn't rained in here for months. There's blue sky over there and blue sky there. We're under the one cloud. We gave it 10 minutes, we hid under this little tree. Now we're going to go and play a bit of slippery buggers in the mud. It didn't rain that much, and we should dry. Certainly grey over there. Oh. One good thing about a little bit of rain like that is it keeps the dust down, which is good. It's definitely slippery. Ooh. Comes another downpour of rain. Could be a... You can see how the the tri-tracks create this like river of water. So there has been a fair bit of rain then in the last half hour or so. Oh, good recovery. Yeah, and I made the decision before this trip, I'm not going to need wet weather gear. All the station owners who we spoke to said it hasn't rained for 4 months and it's not going to rain for another 4 months, they said. But here I am in the rain. Well, it's stopped raining, but it's left a nice coat of wetness on the rocks and on the top layer of the dirt. Makes the riding interesting. A great little track, this one. Just weaving its way beside the creek there. On our right, we've got about a half hour of riding to go before we get to a campground or a campsite. We just got to hope that there's no more rain in sight for now until we leave. And then it can rain all at once. Oh! It's still fantastic. I'm loving every bit of it. Every bit of it.
Good morning guys, and welcome to day 4. We're here in the Gawler Ranges at one of the campgrounds here, and I must say last night was a cold night. It's one of the first times I've actually felt very cold in my sleeping bag. So yeah, quite a beautiful spot. The sun's just coming up over the horizon, or not quite. It's about 6 o'clock in the morning, so it is light. Yeah, so as you can see, I had to get the fire going. I'm kind of whispering because the two boys are still sound asleep, which is good. So I stoked that fire this morning, got it going. The coals were still hot from last night. So I'll show you my illustrious accommodation. Yeah, so I was just in there with the tarp kind of strung out just to stop the dew. You can see the Helinox stretcher in there. I've got a full-size pillow, which is good. A decent sleeping bag. And all the gear. Yeah, I got cold last night. I think having the breeze coming up underneath the stretcher being elevated off the ground, I could feel that I was cold there. And then moving over to the Nerves accommodation. He runs the hammock, which is obviously strung up off 2 trees. Good shelter, good setup. I really do like that system, and I'll give you a closer look at that later on. But it's yeah, really good. Get you up off the ground. You can stand up and do what you have to do beside your bike. You can also get your fly or the tarp pulled up over the bike, so everything is out of the dew. And then we move over to Tom. So there's Tom. He just runs an air mattress, a sleeping bag inside that biddy, and he's tested that at -6 and stayed warm. So awesome for the weight factor. So yeah, all 3 different types of accommodation, and all 3 work. So beautiful.
Well, day 4 has just about begun. We're getting ready to leave our overnight digs and head up to what the signs say a waterfall up there, but I doubt there's any water in it. Glorious day, sun shining, not a cloud in the sky. A cold night, as you would have seen or heard from me earlier.
Well, we're leaving the bikes. We've got about a 500 metre walk to the organ pipes. We're still cruising to these organ pipes. It's going to be worth it, Brendan.
I hope so. It's quite a long 500 metres.
It is.
It's rocky.
It's undulating up and down. The last time we did this, we walked to was it Wilson's Promontory, the most southern point of mainland Australia? Remember that?
That was a bit further.
That was a bit further, about a 14k hike. Well, we've made it to the organ pipes. It's a bunch of rock formations that resemble organ pipes. Look at that one. On the angle. So yeah. This one was my tourist destination pick, and copy a bit of flack for it. Nerb's happy, but Tom's like, Anyway, that's what they are. Plenty of them around, and we'll check out a few more, get a few photos, and head back.
Well, we left the organs, we're heading out. Let's go straight up here. We've got about 10k to a turn off where I've marked it with a pin on the map. We're going to take a different route out to what we've plotted to have a bit of a shortcut. Those creek beds are rocky, nice and jagged. This is good because lots of the corners or the bends have got a bit of a sand burn or a build-up burn on them. These wheel tracks have given it a bit of an advantage, carry a bit more speed. Definitely, I don't think the camera does it justice. Like, I feel like I'm going pretty quick. You know, I'm sitting on what, 60, 70k an hour, and then you watch it back and you think, geez, I was actually going slow. And I'm sure riders a lot better than me would motor through this place. Anyway, I'm having fun. Clutch is going good after our repairs in Port Augusta. Well, we're heading out of the Gawler Ranges, and I must say they weren't huge in height, these ranges. However, they were pretty spectacular. The tracks in there were great. A lot of twin wheel stuff and semi-technical with rock boulders and a few different obstacles. We had a bit of rain in there that you would have seen. That made it a little bit tricky and added a different element to the ride, but all in all, good night's camp. Cold, but yeah, no complaints at all. Gawler Ranges, if you've got that on the radar, definitely go down and check it out.